Some people just don't know when to keep their mouths shut. I'm Harper, 32, and I've learned that lesson the hard way. My life was practically perfect until my husband decided to find himself and ruin everything. We'd been married for 6 years, and I thought we had the kind of relationship other couples envied. I was wrong. Declan and I met at a friend's dinner party. He was quiet but confident, with these intense green eyes that seemed to see right through me. That should have been my first clue. Honestly, no man should be that perceptive. He worked in some kind of consulting job that always sounded vague, but paid well enough for us to buy a nice condo in Chicago. I was doing my own thing in marketing. Nothing too exciting, but it paid the bills. The first 2 years were amazing. Declan worshipped me. He brought me flowers for no reason, remembered every little thing I said, and planned the most thoughtful dates. Our friends called us couple goals, which was exactly what I wanted. I've always believed that if you're going to do something, you should be the best at it. And that includes relationships. But then things started to change. Declan began going to therapy, something about working on himself and processing his childhood. Suddenly, he was setting all these boundaries and talking about his needs. It was exhausting. One minute we were fine. The next, he was saying things like, "I feel unheard when you interrupt me," or "I need some alone time to decompress after work." I tried to be supportive. I really did. But it felt like he was changing the rules without telling me. We used to stay up late talking about everything and nothing. But now he needed his sleep schedule. We used to drop everything to help our friends. But now he was saying things like, "We need to prioritize our relationship." The worst part was how he started questioning me. If I wanted to buy something nice for myself, suddenly it was, "How does this fit into our budget?" Instead of just being happy for me, if I made plans without consulting him first, I was not considering his feelings. It was like living with a completely different person. Our sex life changed too. Declan started talking about emotional intimacy and connection. What happened to the days when it was just fun? Suddenly, everything had to have some deep meaning. He'd actually stop in the middle to ask if I was present or feeling connected. Talk about a mood killer. I started spending more time with my friend Jenna, who totally got it. Her husband was going through the same phase. Apparently, it's contagious. We'd roll our eyes at their new vocabulary and their need to process everything. Jenna and I would laugh about how our husbands used to be fun before they discovered self-help books. Looking back, I guess that's when I started noticing Liam. He worked in the same building as me, and unlike Declan, he actually seemed to enjoy life. We'd grab coffee sometimes, and he never once asked me about my feelings or childhood trauma. What a relief! Liam was everything Declan used to be: spontaneous, fun, and completely focused on me. He complimented my outfits, noticed when I changed my hair, and actually listened when I talked without analyzing everything. It was refreshing. Declan, of course, noticed something was different. He started asking all these questions about my day, who I had lunch with, why I was dressing up for work. It was suffocating. I told him he was being paranoid, but he wouldn't let it go. "I feel like there's distance between us," he said one night, using that therapy voice I'd grown to hate. "I want us to be close again." "We are close," I said, even though I knew we weren't. "You're the one who's always in your head now, talking about boundaries and needs. That's not fair. Harper, I'm trying to make our relationship stronger by making all these rules and analyzing everything. It's like living with a therapist instead of a husband." The argument ended like most of them did, with Declan retreating to process his feelings, and me feeling guilty for even having needs of my own. Liam didn't make me feel guilty. He made me feel alive. We started having lunch together regularly, then happy hours. Then one night, after too many drinks, we ended up at his apartment. I told myself it was just a one-time thing, a mistake that wouldn't happen again. But it did happen again. And again. I justified it to myself by reminding myself how Declan had changed. He wasn't the man I married anymore. That man would never have made me feel guilty for wanting attention or made me question my every move. That man adored me without conditions. Declan knew something was wrong. He kept trying to talk about our connection and work on our intimacy. It was pathetic. I'd nod and pretend to listen while planning my next lunch with Liam. The breaking point came at our friend's anniversary party. Declan and I had been invited months ago, and I bought this gorgeous blue dress that I knew would make him notice me again. But that afternoon, he called to say he might be late because of a work emergency. I went to the party alone, looking amazing and feeling angry. Liam was there too, since he knew the couple through mutual friends. We ended up talking most of the night, and when Declan finally showed up looking stressed and apologetic, I barely acknowledged him. On the drive home, Declan tried to apologize. "I'm sorry I was late. Harper, there was a crisis at work that I couldn't avoid." "You're always sorry about something these days," I said, staring out the window. "What's that supposed to mean?" "It means you're not the same person I married. You're always analyzing everything, setting boundaries, talking about your feelings. What happened to just living life and having fun?" "I'm trying to be a better husband, Harper. I'm trying to meet your needs." "My needs? When have you ever asked about my needs? All you do is talk about yourself and your growth journey." "Shh. That's not true. I ask about you all the time. You ask about my feelings so you can analyze them. You don't actually care about me as a person anymore." The argument escalated, with both of us saying things we didn't mean. At least, I didn't mean them. I'm not so sure about Declan. The next week, I was at Liam's apartment when Declan called. I ignored it, but he kept calling. Finally, I answered, annoyed. "Harper, where are you? You're not home and it's late. I'm out with friends. Why are you checking up on me? I'm worried about you. You've been distant lately." "I'm fine." "Declan, not everything needs to be a therapy session. Can we please talk when you get home? I think we need to have an honest conversation about our relationship." "Whatever. I'll be home later." I hung up and turned back to Liam, who was watching me with concern. "Everything okay?" he asked. "Just my husband being his usual controlling self," I said, reaching for my wine glass. Liam didn't say anything, just pulled me closer. I knew I should feel guilty, but I didn't. I felt justified. Declan had pushed me away with all his changes and rules. He was the one ruining our marriage, not me. When I got home that night, Declan was waiting up for me. He looked tired and sad, which made me angry. Why should he be the victim here? "We need to talk, Harper," he said, patting the couch beside him. "I'm tired." "Declan, can't this wait until morning?" "No, it can't. I know something's going on. You're distant. You're working late all the time. You're dressing differently. I'm dressing differently. What is that supposed to mean? You're paying more attention to your appearance lately, which is fine, but it seems like it's not for me. Are you accusing me of something?" "Declan, I'm asking if there's someone else." I laughed, but it sounded hollow even to me. "Seriously? You think I'm cheating on you?" "I think something has changed between us, and I want to understand what's happening." "What's happening is that you've changed. You're not the man I married anymore. You're this therapy-obsessed, boundary-setting stranger who makes me feel guilty for wanting attention. I'm trying to make our relationship stronger. Harper, I'm trying to be a better partner. By making me feel like everything I do is wrong, by analyzing my every move, by questioning where I am and who I'm with. I'm questioning because I care, because I'm worried about us. Well, maybe you should have thought about that before you decided to change everything about yourself and our relationship." The argument went on for hours, with both of us saying hurtful things. At one point, Declan said, "I feel like I don't even know you anymore." And I realized he was right. He didn't know me anymore because I'd been sharing myself with Liam. The next few weeks were tense. Declan tried to reconnect with date nights and deep conversations, but I couldn't pretend anymore. Every time he looked at me with those concerned eyes, I felt guilty and angry at the same time. Guilty because I was betraying him, and angry because he was the one who had driven me to it. Liam was getting impatient too. He wanted me to leave Declan, to start a new life with him. Part of me wanted to. Liam was exciting and made me feel desired in a way Declan hadn't in months, but another part of me was scared. I'd built a life with Declan. We had friends, a home, a history. The decision was made for me when Declan came home early one day and found Liam's jacket on the back of our couch. I'd forgotten to put it away after Liam had stayed over the night before while Declan was at some personal growth workshop. What's this? Declan asked, holding up the jacket like it was evidence in a crime scene. It's just a jacket, I said, trying to sound casual. Whose jacket? It belongs to a friend. She must have left it here. A friend? Whose friend? I don't recognize it. Why are you interrogating me about a jacket? Declan, it's not a big deal. It is a big deal. Harper, you've been lying to me for weeks. About where you're going? Who you're with? I haven't been lying. Then whose jacket is this? And don't say it's a friend's. Because we both know that's not true. I stood there, frozen. I couldn't think of a believable lie. And I wasn't ready to tell the truth. Declan's face fell. Oh my God. There really is someone else. Isn't there? I didn't say anything, which was answer enough. How long? He asked, his voice barely a whisper. It doesn't matter. It matters to me. How long? Harper. A few months, I mumbled. A few months. All this time. You've been seeing someone else. While I've been trying to fix our marriage, you haven't been trying to fix it. You've been changing it into something I never wanted. I've been trying to make us stronger. I've been working on myself so I could be a better husband to you. Well, congratulations. You're such a great husband that I had to find someone else to make me feel wanted. That was the wrong thing to say. Declan's face hardened, and for the first time, I saw real anger in his eyes. Get out, he said. What? Get out of our house. Now. You can't kick me out. This is my home too. Not anymore. Get your things and leave. I'll have my lawyer contact you about divorce proceedings. Divorce? You're not serious. Dead serious. I can't believe you would do this to me. To us. After everything we've been through. Everything we've been through. You mean you changing into someone I don't even recognize? You making me feel guilty for wanting attention and affection? I was trying to be a better husband. I was trying to meet your needs. You never asked what I needed. You just assumed you knew best. Like always. Declan just shook his head, looking defeated. Just get out, Harper. Please. I packed a bag and left, feeling a mix of anger and relief. I went to Liam's apartment, expecting him to welcome me with open arms. But when I told him what happened, he looked uncomfortable. You're moving in? He asked, trying to hide his panic. Well, where else am I supposed to go? Declan kicked me out. I thought you were going to stay at your place until you figured things out. I did figure things out. I chose you. Harper, this is moving really fast. I wasn't expecting you to move in right away. What did you think was going to happen? That I'd leave my husband for you and then just go back to my own apartment? I don't know. I guess I didn't think that far ahead. I should have seen it coming. But I didn't. Liam wasn't ready for a serious relationship. He liked the excitement of an affair, but the reality of a commitment was different. Over the next few weeks, it became clear that Liam wasn't going to be my salvation. He started making excuses about why I couldn't stay with him permanently, then suggested I find my own place. He stopped answering my texts as quickly, and when we did see each other, he seemed distant and distracted. The final blow came when I ran into him at a restaurant with another woman. He looked guilty, but not surprised to see me. Harper. Hi, he said, awkwardly introducing the woman as his friend. I didn't say anything, just turned and walked away. I felt humiliated and angry, but mostly alone. I had left my husband for this man, and he didn't even have the decency to be honest with me. The divorce was messy. Declan had proof of my affair emails, texts, even a photo of me and Liam leaving a hotel together. I don't know how he got them, but it didn't matter. Our friends took his side. Of course, they'd all seen how hard he'd been working on our marriage, how I'd been pulling away. Jenna was the only one who stuck by me, but even she had her limits. I love you, Harper, she said over coffee one day, but you have to admit you messed up. Declan was trying, and you cheated on him. He changed. Jenna, he wasn't the same person I married. People change. Harper, that's what happens in long-term relationships. You either grow together or you grow apart. You chose to grow apart. I moved into a small apartment by myself, which Declan paid for as part of the divorce settlement. I should have been grateful, but I just felt resentful. He got to keep our condo, our friends, our life. I got a reminder of my failure every time I walked into my empty apartment. Work was no better. Word had gotten around about the divorce and my affair, and people treated me differently. My boss, who used to praise my work, now questioned everything I did. Colleagues who used to invite me to lunch now ate at their desks. I tried to blame Declan for all of it. If he hadn't changed, if he hadn't pushed me away with all his therapy talk and boundary setting, none of this would have happened. But deep down, I knew that wasn't true. I had made my choices, and now I was living with the consequences. The worst part was seeing Declan move on. A few months after the divorce was finalized, I heard through mutual friends that he was dating someone new. Her name was Sarah, and she was apparently everything I wasn't: kind, patient, supportive. I ran into them at a coffee shop one morning. Declan looked happy, really happy, in a way I hadn't seen in years. Sarah was pretty in a natural way, with a warm smile and kind eyes. She reached out to shake my hand, saying how nice it was to finally meet me. I wanted to hate her, but I couldn't. She seemed genuinely nice, which made everything worse. "How are you, Harper?" Declan asked, his voice neutral. "I'm fine," I said, though I wasn't. "That's good. I'm glad to hear it." The awkward silence that followed was unbearable. I mumbled something about being late for work and practically ran out of the coffee shop. In my car, I cried. I cried for the marriage I had destroyed, for the life I had lost, for the loneliness I now faced every day. But I didn't cry because I was sorry for what I had done to Declan. I cried because I was sorry for myself. Years have passed since then. I'm 35 now, living in the same small apartment, working the same job, alone most of the time. Declan and Sarah got married and had a baby. I saw pictures on social media, Declan beaming as he held his daughter, Sarah looking radiant and happy. I tried dating, but it never worked out. I was either too picky or too guarded, always comparing men to Declan or to Liam, neither of which was fair to them or to me. Sometimes I think about reaching out to Declan, to apologize, to try to make amends, but I never do. Part of me still believes he was the one who changed, who ruined our marriage by becoming someone I didn't recognize. Part of me still blames him for everything that went wrong. I know that's not fair. I know I made choices, bad choices, that led to the end of my marriage. I know I hurt Declan in ways that can't be undone, but I can't quite bring myself to take full responsibility for it all. It's easier to blame him, to blame Liam, to blame anyone but myself. So I live alone, in my small apartment, with my memories and my regrets. I go to work, I come home, I eat dinner by myself, I watch TV, I go to bed, and I tell myself that I'm better off alone, that I don't need anyone to be happy. But sometimes, late at night when I can't sleep, I wonder what my life would be like if I had tried harder with Declan, if I had communicated my needs instead of seeking attention elsewhere, if I had been the wife he deserved. Those thoughts don't last long, though. It's easier to be angry than to be sorry. It's easier to blame than to take responsibility. And if there's one thing I've learned about myself, it's that I always take the easy way out.